Today, we are going to be talking about impulse shopping. Yes, a problem that I'm sure a lot of us have, and if you don't, well, props to you because you probably save a lot of money, or maybe you don't. Either way, good for you if you don't impulse shop. On the other note, I have gotten very good at not doing that because back then I was the absolute worst. I had like 3 to 5 different bomber jackets. Saw this thrift store and I was like, I have to buy that. Let's just say when I worked in retail, especially in the very beginning, I bought like almost everything I wanted that looked good on me, and it was bad. Not saying that I was rich or anything, because I definitely was not, but I had enough. Luckily, I have learned my way through the ropes and have learned how to hold myself back from doing that, and I have gotten very good at it. Hence today's video, I'm going to share some of my tips with you on how I get myself to stop impulse shopping. Something I do want to mention, by the way, is that last year when your girl was not ballin', not saying I'm ballin' now, but like I was not making nearly as much. I did not buy clothes for a year. Yes, I mean like literally a whole year. The only exception was, I think, Black Friday or Christmas. Vlad bought me workout clothes because I really needed new workout clothes, and that was it. I don't even know if I bought furniture. I couldn't even buy anything secondhand, which is what I usually do. Just so you can understand why I'm a credible source as to provide tips on this topic, that is what it is. So before we dive into the tips on how to stop yourself from impulse shopping, let's talk about why it's important. Oftentimes I feel like we just buy things to fill ourselves with happiness. A lot of times we buy things that we just don't need because we want that quick dopamine hit. And once we get our item, we're happy for literally like a minute. And then after that, we kind of go on to wanting to buy the next thing. But the real question is do we need everything that we buy? A lot of times we really don't. And I'm not saying that you should deny yourself of buying everything that you don't need, because sometimes we do just want things that make us happy, and that's totally fine.
Treat yourself 2011.
But I think there comes a point sometimes where we need to ask ourselves, like, do I need all of this stuff? You know what I mean? Maybe this is getting too deep too fast. Needless to say, if there is anything that I took away from the minimalism era in the middle of COVID, it is definitely that less is more. And even though I wouldn't necessarily say I am a full-on minimalist, although I do think I'm pretty close, I enjoy having a space that is not super cluttered and where I only have the things that really bring me joy, as Mary Kondo likes to put it.
Items that spark joy for you.
That is a really big reason why I try to stop myself from impulse shopping, because I absolutely hate having that feeling where I'll get excited, buy something, realize I don't love it as much, only to sell it or give it away a few months or a year later. And that makes me feel bad because I also care a lot about sustainability. When we realize we don't want things not too long later on, those things just either end up being donated and may or may not end up in the landfill. So that is why this topic is very important to me and why I'm very excited to share some tips with you on how we can be better at not buying so much stuff. And let's also not mention, of course, the really important fact that stopping ourselves from impulse shopping saves us money, which who doesn't want to save money? For our first tip, what I recommend is having a list. Yes, a good old checklist. For me, it's not so much of a checklist, it's more so a spreadsheet, which maybe you've heard of me talk about in one of my older videos. But yes, I have a giant spreadsheet that literally lists every single piece of clothing or item I would like to purchase in the near future that I think is both a want and a need. And whatever ends up on this list is usually items that I will have had on my mind for months, if not even years. Pieces that I think are essential and will always most likely keep fitting into my personal style. And this list I have is generally for clothes, but I really think you can also have this list for even your furniture or maybe some other things that you purchase very frequently. And having this list really keeps me in check. And a lot of times if I encounter something that I really want and I'm interested in potentially buying, I'll double check my list. Sometimes I'll even double check my Pinterest board and see if whatever I'm interested in buying matches or is on there. And if it's not, 95% of the time I will not buy it, and this saves me a lot of thinking. The next tip that I have is having a budget. I also have a spreadsheet. Yes, I know this is very lame and nerdy of me, but I have a spreadsheet for my finances. And I also have a certain budget that I like to keep for myself on how much I would like to spend on extra things every single month. So after I deduct everything that I spend on rent, necessities, savings, and all of those things that are a need to pay for, then I will have a certain budget that is for anything I just want to buy for fun, whether that's food, going out to eat with friends, recreational activities, or shopping for things like clothes or coloring books, those types of things. And I think this really helps as well as kind of like a guardrail where if I want to buy something and I've already spent most of my budget for the month, then most likely, I will choose to not go over that threshold and stay within my budget just so I'm not overspending and, maxing out my credit card or something like that.
Credit card debt, credit card debt.
That is the second tip that I have for you guys. Next tip that we have is literally to ask yourself, one, is this a trend or is it something that I actually want? And this can be both for clothes and for furniture, whatever you're buying, because sometimes we just buy things because everyone else is buying it. We forget to ask ourselves, is this even something that fits us as a person? Question number two, would I regret it if I didn't buy this? A lot of times we just buy things and we don't think about whether or not this is something we would still buy even 5 years from now, and we don't think about our future self. For me, I like to buy things that I think I will be using for years because I don't want to just buy it and then only a year later think, oh, I don't really like this anymore, it doesn't really fit me, and then throw it away and have it go to waste. Let's try to keep things away from the landfill, guys. How often am I actually gonna use or wear this thing? Is it something I'm gonna be using every day, a few times a week, or is it just on occasion every few months? And of course, it's important to ask yourself, is this a want or a need? It is totally okay if you buy things just because you want it. I think we all deserve to be happy. And we don't need to go caveman style and only buy the absolute necessities, or else our lives would be dull and depressing. But sometimes we do have to be realistic with ourselves and ask if this is something that we will use a lot, even if it's utterly useless, or if it's just to make it look pretty and will take up space and is meaningless in our home. Just being honest here. As for clothes in particular, because clothes is my one true love aside from Vlad, I like to ask myself these questions as well. First thing to think about is, would this look good on my body type? And what I mean by that is knowing your body shape and your colors. Is this something that would look good on me? Maybe you're someone who cares, maybe you're someone who doesn't, but if you do care, I think it helps to know what type of clothes will flatter you, and keeping that in mind before you buy something, especially if you cannot return it, especially when you're buying things secondhand online and you don't have the opportunity to try things on, or maybe some stores just have a weird return policy and won't let you return something. Another really important question to ask is, does this match my closet? Is this going to pair with a lot of other things that I own? This is something I really didn't keep in mind a lot back then when I was younger. I would just buy things because I liked it, because I thought it was cute and it looked good on me, but I didn't think about, oh my god, do I have something to wear it with? Because you don't want to just buy a new piece and then realize that you need 5 other things to make a complete outfit with it. That's just going to make your closet keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it gets too crazy. And I don't really want that. I'd like to keep my closet as minimalist as possible so I have options, but also don't get stressed out about not knowing what to wear the next morning because I have too many options.
Okay, so I have nothing to wear.
So of course I like to keep in mind, can I wear 3 outfits with this piece of clothing? Is this something I'm easily gonna be able to put on and not have to think too hard to style it? I really enjoy easy pieces like that. Of course, once in a while, I like to get a really nice statement piece for special occasions, but for the most part, I like to keep it pretty easy. The last tip I recommend is to simply make it hard for you to shop. There can be many different ways that you can approach this. One recommendation you can do is add Grayscale to your phone. This is a tip I actually found from one of Anna Akana's videos, and it definitely helps me use my phone less when I use it. But sometimes I do not have enough self-control to keep it there.
Bruh.
But it is a great option to have if you have enough discipline to keep it black and white. So basically what Grayscale is it turns your phone screen black and white, so it kind of gives you less dopamine whenever you're using your phone. It definitely helped me a lot initially when I started doing it. I should probably be more disciplined about that, but there is that option as well. And the last recommendation I have by trying to make shopping harder for you is simply asking your partner or your mom or a judgmental friend or family member, does this look good on me? Or is this something I need? Don't get your friends that are instigators and will be like, yes, buy that. You don't need that right now. Okay, what you need is someone who's going to hold you back from buying things. Get someone who will tell you no and tell you that you don't need that because they are the real gems. But anyways, those are all my tips for today. I really hope that you found this video somewhat helpful. Yeah, and I hope that we all shop less and save money. May self-discipline be with you. And until next time. Bye, guys.